So she was like, "What do you mean? How does my bedroom feel?" I'm like, "Through the entire day, I don't think I made one good decision. If I went back and counted, yeah, it starts in July of 2022, right? When I was a sophomore. that sophomore summer going into junior year, right? And that summer, that was supposed to be my last summer. It was not. So I started talking to this girl, and she lives nowhere near me, by the way. I'm talking like 2 or 3 hours away, right? And I'm like, okay, I'll just come and find time to see you all somewhere along the summer. I mind you, and I remind you, I'm 16. My guardian at the time was not very, let's just say supportive. She wasn't very supportive of my decision to go see some girl that I had met online that lived an hour and 30 minutes away from me. I believe it's like the beginning of August now, right? I make like very special plans to go see her. Well, fast forward to when I do see her, right? I'm getting ready. I have a train to catch at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm serious. I'm very serious. And when I say meet, I just look at the title of the video, put it all together again. I don't think I'm going to be doing very much talking. So I'm getting ready to go see her, right? It's 6 o'clock in the morning on this very special fine day. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then we're texting each other. She's excited to see me. And then like I get on the train, right? It's fine. I get to the town of my city. No problems, right? Because I'd probably have a different video if I didn't get there. And I'm looking for the train I'm supposed to get on. It's a ghost town at 6 o'clock in the morning. I kind of expect it. But it's like a lot worse than I expected, right? So I get on my train to go see her, right? That was one of the longest train rides I think I've ever taken. I will never be taking a train ride that long ever again. I will either be driving or flying. I fell asleep and woke up. I feel like I fast traveled to GTA San Andreas. So I finally get there, right? I get there at like 10 o'clock in the morning. Brother, we're still texting each other, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm ready to see you, blah, 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 right? Okay, mind you again, right? I'm 16. I'm poor. I'm not a very good planner. Apple takes money out of my bank account. It was when my train ticket home, and it was going to have me get an Uber to her house because train doesn't take me directly there, right? So now I'm poor, and I'm pretty much begging for money. I asked my guardian for money. They say no. Unsurprising. I asked my dad. They also say no. Also unsurprising, right? But then I ask somebody else, I'm not going to drop names, and then they give me money. I get the money, right? And then I catch an Uber. I didn't have the amount to get to like the place I need to be. So I have to start walking. And now when I say I walked, right? She lives in an outer city in near a bigger city, right? She was 30 miles away from the bigger city, and the Uber only took me 15 miles. I walked 7 miles in a day off of pretty much no sleep. I didn't eat. After I'm done walking that 7 straight miles, right? I catch another Uber. It takes me like 2 miles, right? So if you do a quick math right here, right? 15 plus 7 plus 2. That's 24 miles. I still got 6 to go. So I'm walking up. I'm walking up like these country roads because I still got to walk 6 miles. What? Right? I'm walking up these country roads. When you're in the middle of nowhere and your phone, oh, I forgot to mention, my phone is dead, by the way. My phone is completely dead pretty much the entire day. Again, 16 was not a very good planner, right? When I say country roads, imagine like the most movie country roads definition you can possibly think of, right? Cornfields, okay? And hills. Yeah, right. So this is one girl, right? She's standing in the sign opening of this like cornfield, like the entrance of a cornfield. Right? You would walk down it, and you'd be in the middle of the cornfield. You'd be like splitting it, right? And she's standing there, and she's like, "You lost?" And I'm like, "A little bit, cause my phone's dead." So I asked her for directions, and then she's like, "Okay, come on inside." I'm like, "All right, I kind of have no choice. I brought my charger with me, but I didn't have a power bank. Cut me some slack, please." After a little bit, she kind of starts to make moves on me, and I'm like, well, what about the other girl, right? The girl that I was talking to even go hit in the first place, she just stops talking to me for whatever reason. Like she just the responses are like once in a fucking million. I'm still gonna go there because there's no way I traveled an hour and a half and lost all my money and walked miles to not hit. I was determined, alright? I was more determined than Columbus and the Americas trying to get some yams. So the girl whose house I walked into, right, she was like making moves on me. I'm not gonna really entertain it because I have the other girl, but so as I'm talking to her, like my phone turns back on. So I go and grab my phone, right? So in the middle of her talking, I go check for the other girl's messages, right? She had left me on delivery for about 30 minutes at this point. And I was mad. I'm like 5 minutes away from your house and you're not responding. So like the girl looks at me. She looks at me with sadness because my dumb ass is not even paying attention to where I'm right. So then I just give in to her advances, right? She starts to ask me questions like, oh, do you have a girlfriend? And then right. And at first I didn't respond because again, I'm 16 years old. stupid, right? And then eventually, right, I start to get a little bold. So I said, like, so, like, how's your bedroom feel? I had risk. I was 16 years old. I don't know what horn monster had overtook his soul, but so she was like, what do you mean, how does my bedroom feel? I'm like, how does the covers feel on the bed? She was like, oh, well, I see what you mean. From there was history. Walked to the bedroom, and then yada yada. So then I lost it, right? To her, not to the girl I was originally coming to planning to see 4 months, and I had traveled an hour and 30 minutes. No, so then the girl that I was messing with, right, at the time, she was like, so where do you live? And I said, oh, this place. I'm not gonna dox myself. I'm not stupid. And she was like, I've never heard of that. Do you? And then, right, she goes to look it up, and then she sees that I'm like an hour and a half away by car, and she gets furious. She gets enraged. She looks at me. She basically told me to never come back ever again, and she kicked me out the house. So me, the hornball at 16, I'm like, can I get more yams in one day? Can I get a 2-for-1? 2-for-1 from McDonald's? So I leave her house, and I'm back walking up and down these country roads. I had already got yams. Anything after that was a side mission. Like, the girl that left me on the liver for 30 minutes before I was about to see her, she was now a side mission. She was literally like a kill streak in Call of Duty. Like, can I get a UAV real quick after I just got that one kill? And I'm walking up and down these country roads, and then the car passes me, right, coming towards me on the opposite side of the road. I see the same car, and it pulls up on my right. He says, hey kid, are you lost? And I was like, yeah. 16. Right? He was like, well, hop in. I bet I can give you a ride. I'm not gonna lie. I should have been cooked here. I should have been more cooked than the solid Thai chicken sandwich. I should have been more cooked than my friend's black knees. Thank the Lord that this guy did not kidnap me. But whatever. He takes me like 5 minutes down the road. I get to her house, right? When he pulls up, she immediately knows it's me. And I think she gets like scared because there's like her, but there's like 4 other people with her. So part of me is like, I wasn't gonna get the chance to hit in the first place, but I was like, screw it, anything I can get my hands on. So I walk up to the house, right, and then just like, oh, you shouldn't have came. Mom said you could have come, and I was like, Mom, I was under the assumption that everybody knew I was coming. I was wrong. Her mom wasn't even there. Nobody was really there besides them. So I'm just sitting there, right? I'm like on the couch, right, and there's like nothing. Right, I'm just sitting there doing nothing. My confidence that I had with the girl from earlier, that has all of that vaporized into nothingness. I now become the most wink-wank muff you've ever seen. So in front of the girl, I just, it's bad. But then her mom pulls up, the person that didn't know I was there, and then she sees me. She makes this like disgusted look, and she's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Well, I know your daughter." Call her daughter's name. And then her daughter was trying to explain to me that she did not know who I was. She basically just called me an intruder, right? And so I'm just standing there, and I'm like, wow. So after all that, after all these months, I was talking to you, and I was supposed to come see you. You're just gonna turn your back like that on me? And when her and her mom started arguing, right? Like, yeah, you knew him, and blah, blah, blah. That's not the first black guy you brought around, which is a crazy sentence, by the way. I was about to catch my drift, I was about to take a used car off the dealership lot like it was a new one. I came all the way from an hour and a half away, right? So they're trying to find a way to get me home. I know how I'm gonna get home, right? I'm like, I need to get out of here, right? I call an Uber. As my Uber's pulling up, I see cop cars like pull around the corner, and they're coming down the street, right? I'm far away enough from the house that they would assume that I was not in the house, right? I get in the Uber, and I see the cop cars, right? I'm watching the cop cars. Me and the Uber driver, by the way, because the Uber driver knows he's hell. And the cop cars pull right into her house. I don't know what they were there for, but when they got to that door, it was on like applesauce. Bang, 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 bang. Police. Bang, bang, bang. And then I just stopped looking. I just turned my head because I didn't want to be associated with that. He took me all the way back to the train station and in the bigger city, the one that she lives in, right? Now, I'm taking on this Uber, right? I'm right in front of the train station, right? I hear like, hey. Like, and it's like very directed towards me because this like the train station is like kind of empty. It's like, yeah, my sister, and I'm like, I don't know how he knew I did his sister, but he was like, yeah, you did my sister. I'm gonna whoop your ass, and then I ran. Like, any normal black guy would. I got away, and I got to the train station and swore to never go back there or back to that city, and I have not been back there since. And I don't plan on going back there anytime soon. He's probably gonna beat me so bad, I'm gonna wish I had turned white.